This video is going to be about the fall 2019 New York Gambler 500. My friend Chris and I embarked on this adventure along with our buddy Ian and a few other friends that we made along the way at the Gambler. We did this in my 1999 GMC Sierra with a 6-inch lift that I bought for the last Gambler, and it survived barely. So we fixed a few things on it and decided to reuse it for this year, although with a different theme. Now, this event starts at the Adirondack International Speedway, and that is our base camp. It's where we start and it's where we end each day of the Gambler. For this film, we stitched together any videos and recordings we had of the Gambler, and I'm going to be voicing over it and narrating what happened, along with any audio that we actually captured. Now, this first clip is from the night before the Gambler, where we're finishing the paint job and kind of recapping the truck. All right, so the Gambler truck is pretty much ready for tomorrow. We fixed the brakes, we fixed the rear caliper that was sticking, so that's good now. She goes and stops. Transmission's still real sketchy, the shock is still loose and squeaky, but this is what she looks like. We're real proud of the artwork. We modeled it after the Narrated can, obviously. Nice lazy paint job from the last one. And it's supposed to look kind of like that. This is the tire we went with. Nice meaty one. Totally matches the other side. And we've decided to leave the tomato plant in there. We're just going to bring it along. You know, be some snacks for while we're gambling. And we're not doing anything about the tailgate either. This is the one thing left that worries me, other than the transmission, is that shock. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, it turns out we ran the last Gambler without an air filter too. We put one in now. We have the night Gambler, which is kind of infamous for breaking a lot of people's rigs before the Gambler even starts. And then Saturday morning, we have the driver's meeting where we are given our packet of coordinates and given the list of rules. Number one of which is basically just don't be a dick, and that covers most of it. And you know, they gave us instructions for where to dump trash that we picked up on the trail, and you kind of started making your plans from there. So then we started our Saturday Gambler run by going straight into the death treks. And yes, that tomato plant is still in the bed of the truck. Let's see if it makes it. In this clapped out Jeep Liberty is Captain Scott Benzie and Jay Aubrey. They've run this Liberty for a bunch of Gamblers, and it somehow keeps going and really defies what I think of Chrysler products. And then comes our buddy Ian in his Toyota Tacoma. I forget which year, but it's got over 400,000 miles on it. And this was his first time driving stick shift, and this is how he decided to learn. He did a great job. So the reason why we decided to go straight to the death treks instead of following the numerical order of the waypoints was a couple reasons. The biggest one was we wanted to avoid any bottlenecks, because once the Toyota Corollas and the Honda Civics start hitting trails like these, then people start getting really stuck, and it kind of starts to hold people up. So We knew we had capable vehicles, and we just wanted to hit it right off the start and get them out of the way, because some of these death treks you will be stuck in for hours. And we definitely came across some spots that made me wish I had a snorkel. We had a little bit of a scare in the beginning when the engine sucked up some water, but it didn't hydrolock. We came across some obstacles that definitely put my questionable frame to the test. And yep, the tomato plant's still there, safe and sound.
It's up there. The shitter key? Or the yeeter key? Yeeter key. All that. And he could have just got.
Spacers are good.
This sick Jeep Comanche was owned by a guy named Felipe from New Jersey, and it just made this whole thing look super easy.
Can't see what's here.
Oh shit, we shouldn't have gone down.
Yeah, you should not have done that.
And it was at this point that we all got stuck as fuck.
I don't know what you were doing there.
The Jeep tried pulling us out, but that lost four-wheel drive and it got stuck itself. And then Ian got stuck in an even bigger puddle.
I just anticipated. I pushed the shaft for him.
Luckily, the Jeep Comanche was able to find a way around somehow, came back and pulled us out forward after a while. Towards the end, the vehicles were getting damaged, and ultimately we had to daisy chain 3 vehicles together to make it out of there, which we did successfully. And then we made it on back to base camp, where the usual night gambler shit goes on. We eventually pulled all the vehicles out, and eventually me as well.
This is why you sign a waiver.
Yep. So we made it back to camp, safe and sound, in one piece, and started the night gambler shenanigans.
Somehow they always survive this sketchy shit.
Yeah, right.
Which consisted of trying to make it up a giant sand dune, which people saw varying degrees of success. So then we had a pair of Yarai square off in a race. I'm assuming Yarai is the plural of Yaris. Then we had a sketchy SUV race, which I wouldn't want to be in either of those cars coming around that turn. Then we played a game where you tie a stack of tires to your car with a rope, and the object is to cut everybody else's rope with your car without getting your rope cut. And it was a very interesting game to watch. Definitely safe. Then of course you have your classic tug of war. This one was an Audi A4 versus the Yaris, I believe. Definitely a fair matchup. Then of course we had to have Yaris versus Yaris. And a rematch for good measure. A Cherokee in reverse versus a Yaris. I can't believe it's actually pulling it right now. That's unbelievable. Further proof that Toyota engines are indestructible.
Yo, I'll take the RS.
I took on a Nissan Sentra in my Sierra, but that wasn't much of a match. And I think he was in reverse. Sad day for Mustang owners when you get dragged by a Nissan Sentra. How about two Yarises tied together versus a Mustang?
Who's ready?
Then we messed around on the dunes a bit.
Hey, push him!
Could try to push him with another car.
You need more momentum.
You want to send the truck?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Back it up, send the truck. Get your truck.
Oh, they got it.
And now they're stuck.
You want me to push the Suzuki?
I don't know what needs to be pushed. Hey, why don't we train that one? Push it with the truck behind this and push it right over. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, push the RAV4.
From the back?
He likes it from the ass, yeah.
Alright, got it. Well, we blew an axle trying to get someone unstuck. That's that sound. We zip tied it up to stop it from clanking around. We're just trying to limp her back to camp. So that way we can cut it off and just continue on two-wheel drive.
So yeah, we broke the axle screwing around last night, and it was the same part that I broke at the last Gambler. So we spent all Sunday morning replacing the axle, replacing the ball joint for some reason, fixing the shifter linkage, a bunch of other things I'm forgetting, and we ended up getting the Whatever It Takes award because we were able to drive it home later that night. Bunch of guys stopped by to help. Total strangers, but they lent us their tools and their labor, and they helped us get this thing going. So we spent all day getting the thing fixed, and here's a video of the Gamblers returning from the second day, and then I pan over to the trophies, and we won a green one for the Whatever It Takes award. So then here are a bunch of pictures that we had extra laying around that we wanted to include. There were quite a few casualties in terms of vehicles. Of course, not everybody made it, but everybody in our group was able to eventually drive out of there. And there you have it, the Gambler 500 New York Harvest Moon Edition. And we all made it home.